And there you go. There is your storm risk. It's a level 1 for today. Storms are going to fire this afternoon. Now, I do think that they'll be pretty isolated. Not everyone getting storms today. You saw that risk from the Panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas into Wichita, Kansas City, Omaha included in that as well. Not everyone getting storms. We have storms firing up into the evening hours, okay? It's going to be a pretty late event. It's going to be one of those events that you're sitting around watching and waiting for, and you're saying it's not fired up yet, but it will. We will see storms fire up as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, so late afternoon into the evening, continuing through the overnight and into early tomorrow morning. Increasingly becoming a little bit more widespread here from Wichita to Kansas City, but at that point, if these storms become too clustered, that hail risk is going to go down. So I have that low risk for storms in Kansas City tonight. Moving up to the north for Thursday, so tomorrow we will start out with a pretty rainy beginning on Thursday for places like Missouri and Iowa. However, we're really not watching for those morning storms. We're watching for those afternoon storms that will start to fire up in the late afternoon. This is what we're watching for right here. Anywhere from the eastern side of Nebraska all the way into Iowa, southern side of Minnesota, and the northern side of Missouri. That's what we're watching for storms starting off isolated at first, congealing into a more cohesive line as we head into the late night hours. It's dark at this point, but we still have a pretty good hail risk. That hail risk actually looks pretty impressive for most of Iowa, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Remember what I showed you earlier? When we get these dark oranges, when we get these dark, almost red colors in here, that's whenever we start to see those larger hailstones. So that's exactly what we have as we head into Thursday afternoon, into the evening hours from Omaha all the way into a good portion of Iowa, even Minneapolis included in this. So let's go back to today, then we'll go forward to tomorrow, and then we'll even talk about Friday and Saturday in your forecast. But let's talk about that hail forecast for this evening. Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, pretty low chance down in Woodward. It's going to be very isolated in this area from the southern side of Kansas into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Much more widespread, which is why that chance goes up, that risk goes to a level 2, a moderate risk in Wichita and in Kansas City. As we head to the east, those hail sizes are likely to go down. So we're talking about quarter, $half size hail farther out to the eastern side of Kansas into places like Kansas City and even up to the north into Omaha. However, if one of those isolated storms down in the southern side of Kansas, even into Wichita, could get going, I think we could see up to hen egg sized hail. That's 2 inches in size. Severe weather breakdown here. What about that tornado threat? We've talked about that hail threat. Tornado threat's pretty low. The wind risk today I put out at a level 3, pretty low as well. Flooding threat is low for now, however, going to be a bigger threat as we head into the next few days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that flood threat goes up. Here's your wind forecast. Woodward, Wichita, with the highest chance for wind, even though I'm still keeping this in a pretty low category here. I was right in between low to moderate. Moving up to the north and talking about Iowa now, we're talking about the eastern side of Nebraska, Kansas City, all the way up to Minneapolis. We do have a tornado risk for tomorrow. So this includes Lincoln, Omaha, Des Moines, Kansas City, and Minneapolis. It's a level 1 on a scale of 5. Excuse me, a little tickle in my throat. Level 1 on a scale of 5, so it's still on the board, even though it's a low risk. Just something to pay attention to. Moving forward to the hail risk tomorrow. So this is the most impressive thing that I've seen in quite some time. Okay, so the hail risk tomorrow looks pretty impressive, anywhere from Lincoln to Omaha to Des Moines. Now let me remind you, last time we put a city in a high category, it had a direct hit. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. I'm just saying our forecasts have been pretty good here lately, and we'll move on from that. I put Kansas City in that low risk, Peoria also in that moderate risk, and Minneapolis highlighted there in yellow in that moderate risk. Hail sizes for tomorrow look more impressive than today. We're talking about tennis ball size hail, 2.5 inches in size. So we've got a pretty good risk for some pretty large hail tomorrow. Here's your wind forecast. It's a lower chance for those high winds. We're talking about 60, 65, maybe getting up to 70 miles an hour from Minneapolis all the way down to Kansas City.